Hi, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Zarina. I am a freelance artist, graphic designer, YouTuber, housewife, so many things. I make productivity content because I am so obsessed with it. I may not be productive all the time. I'm a human, but the content is really motivating. So today I am here to talk to you about my tips and tricks on how to set goals in order to achieve them. You know, we all set goals and just forget about them after a while, but I specifically came up with a system to achieve the goals we set for ourselves. I am going to be reading from my notes here. Step 1 is to choose your reason. Choose a strong why. Get as clear as possible, even to the end date if possible. I think this is a well known point that you have to know your why in order to set clear goals. Having a strong reason to start a project is how you continue to work on that project. Basically, set a goal and ask yourself, why are you setting this goal? Do you have good reason? What even is good reason? What is bad reason? I'm good at explaining and understanding with examples, so I'm going to give you examples. For example, you set a goal and your goal is to read 2 books in a month. What is your reason? It may be that you are resting your brain, such a good reason. You're expanding your worldview, amazing reason. Escaping from your real life, I'm not sure. Good or bad reason, I'm not sure. This is where the personalization comes in. You have to know what is good and what is bad for you. For another example, if you have a fitness goal of to losing some weight or staying fit or getting fit, something like that. If this is for your mental and physical health, that is an amazing reason. If this is for you to fit into certain clothing, in my opinion, that is a terrible reason. Like, reasons vary from people to people, so you need to be clear for yourself, like what is your reason to set a certain goal. And once you've set your goal, once you've come up with your reasons, you can make the goal even more detailed. And in my opinion, having a deadline is really crucial for a goal if possible. Sometimes it may not be possible. For example, when your goal is to stay fit, stay active, there is no end date. You have to just maintain your activity level. It is so hard to speak in general terms because not everything applies to one another. So don't come for me. But also, when your goal is to finish 2 books in 1 month, there is your deadline. You have like 2 weeks to finish 1 book. Having a deadline is a huge motivator, especially for me. I'm sure there are many more people who think that way. Let me just have a sip of my green tea. Step 2, make it into a game. Create a project, make it into a game, grade yourself, treat yourself. Think of a reward system if that works for you. If you like gaming like I do, you know how gratifying it is to reach certain milestones. If you think about your goal as the end of the game, you create sub goals to make quests in your game. Take language learning in this case because it is not as quantifiable as reading a book. So learning a language, for example, your end goal is to reach B2 level in a certain level. In my case, I want to reach B2 in French. So my sub goals, my quests to reach that is to go from A1 to A2, A2 to B1, B1 to B2. In those sub goals, I have quests. To be able to go from A1 to A2, I needed to get acquainted, learn the grammar. So I did that. And now my sub goals are to watch videos, read articles, many more quests that I need to finish in order to get to B1 level. I hope that makes sense. So take your time to ponder over each sub goal, each quest, and after that list is ready, it is time to think of a rewarding grading system. You need to be able to track your progression through the game. This is where having clear goals is gonna come handy, because you are going to be able to set milestones in each category, in each step of your goal. Again, this is so general that it is difficult for me to explain myself. I hope that it makes sense. So once you have your milestones, you can think of a rewarding system and apply, each time you reach a milestone, you treat yourself with something. But I need to say this, that your rewarding should not be something that clears your mind, something that relaxes you mentally. For example, going for a walk, I don't know, taking the day off. This should not be your reward. This should be your routine. Your reward can be, for example, buying something that you've been eyeing for a long time. Extra 10 minutes of lazy time. This is not rest time. This is a lazy time. Or watching one episode of your favorite TV show or something like that. But be careful. Do not binge watch like I always do. Sometimes I tell myself I'll just watch one episode and it turns into a whole day marathon. Sometimes that happens. And you can also think of a punishment system if you work like that. I actually don't like that personally, but it does work for some people. Go for it. And step 2.5 in the game category, you may need to create a long-term game. So again, when it's a long-term thing, it is difficult for us humans to wait for the delayed gratification. That's why sometimes we may need to watch motivational videos. I should know that. I need to watch those videos from time to time. When it's a long-term thing and you're waiting for the gratification, just watch some motivational videos, get motivated, do something towards your goal, but also focus on discipline. I know how hard it is, but it's just the way it is. We cannot rely solely on motivation. If we just need to work on ourselves, build discipline, this is the key to achieving all the things. This part of the goal making is to maintain your level at your preferred level, be it your fitness level or your skills or your language, whatever it may be. And in this case, I am going to refer to my favorite book of all time, Atomic Habits. This book, I'm sure you have heard of System versus Goals. James Clear is really clear about, oh my god. Oh! Ew! Dude! Let me rephrase that. James Clear says that you need to be focusing on your systems. The purpose of building systems is to continue to playing the game. It was about a baseball team, I think. They were trying to get 1% better each time, each day, whatever. The goal is not to win the game, it is to continue playing. It is such an amazing analogy. Is that the right word to use? And what I love the most about systems is that you just do it. You don't use brain power. It's like the definition of making something into a routine/habit. If keeping fit is your goal, your system is to work out regularly and eat nutritious food. Goals are about the results you want to achieve. Systems are about the processes that lead to those goals. Yet another amazing quote from this book. Focusing on the discipline rather than the motivation is the key to making a long-term goal achievable. Motivation is short-term, but discipline is required in the long run. Going back to language learning goal, if your goal is to reach certain level of a language, you cannot reach that goal in the span of 2 weeks. Maybe some can, but most can't. So I'm talking in general terms here. So when your goal is so far away in the future, it is sometimes daunting to think about the timeline, which is exactly why you have sub goals. However, sometimes no matter how passionate about your goal or how fun of a game you make it out to be, sometimes you get so tired of working so much and not having anything to show for. And this is in air quotes because in my book of life, every small win is something to show for. Every small thing you can think of, you should celebrate it. So in the times like this, having the discipline is necessary to help you go through the hurdle of it. Step 3, call yourself out. Track your process. This is literally a page out of Atomic Habits. Basically, you need to track your progress. Firstly, it helps you to stay on track. It motivates you to keep going, even though you miss just one day. Looking at the thing where you are tracking is motivation enough. I mean, at least for me. If it's not for you, there are many other ways to keep your motivation up. You just have to find what inspires you the most, basically. So I also saw this quote: what can be tracked can be improved, but the inverse is not true. I love this quote so much. And this is the next step of tracking your progress, because now you have a history to look back on and reflect on and make changes if necessary and improve because you have tracked it. We have a guest in our studio today, as usual. When you track your progress, it is sometimes obvious to see where the things have gone wrong. If it's not obvious, we might need to look more into our daily routine. Tracking where your day went is so helpful. When you sit on Instagram or like any social media and you don't even know where the time went, and then you check your screen time and you realize, oh my God, what have I been doing? I think that's such a good wake-up call. I actually love it when I am calling myself out. I really, really love this step, this tip. Again, there are many kinds of trackers you can use. You can do the don't break the chain thing, where you put a bunch of X's. And you can use some digital note-taking app, digital tracking app. Again, you just have to find what works best for you. But the thing is, you need to be honest with yourself. For example, if your goal is to work out 1 hour every day, you cannot slack for 30 minutes and really work out for 30 minutes and put a done mark on the tracker. It would just be lying to yourself at this point. So let's not do that. I have done that many times, so I know. But again, this is not for anybody. This is just for myself. So I shouldn't be lying to myself, basically. And the step 4 is to have peer pressure. If you are like me, you also thrive when you study or work with somebody else. I am trying to be okay with the realization that I am dependent on outside motivation. This is exactly why I have started to put on the videos where you study with other people or you work with other people online. Or for my French studies, I have a study buddy where we motivate each other. Usually she does. I don't do much. I'm such a bad study buddy. And yeah, this keeps me going. This keeps me motivated. And if that works for you, go for it. Use all the resources to keep yourself motivated to achieve your goal. The fact that you're watching this video means that you have access to the internet, and There are so many resources on the internet to keep yourself accountable, keep yourself motivated, and ultimately achieve your goal. I know that being a human in this day and age is not easy. But this is why I am trying to build this community where we get together, motivate each other, get disciplined, and achieve our goals one by one. So these are all the tips and tricks I have for you today. If you think this video would be helpful for anybody you know, please share it with them. If at least one person got motivated from this video, I have done my job. Thank you so much for sticking until the end. Follow me on my socials. I am active on my Instagram. I usually share my small wins on my stories. If you're like me who gets motivated by other people's accomplishments, you can accomplishments, like it's a small win but it's also an accomplishment. Okay, so you can follow me on my Instagram and DM me. You can always DM me. My DMs are open. I always reply to them. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.